Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday. It's 4 o'clock, so you know what that means. It's time for another weekly chat with Pat. Today, I've got with me Dave Seppala. Hey, Dave, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody out there? What is your official job title here at Dart?
Yeah, so Dave Seppala, Director of Fleet Operations. Been at Dart for just over 15 years, Pat.
Been here for quite a while. So, many drivers out there right now, running certain lanes, maybe you're thinking about making a switch. We got Dave here today to talk about some really exciting opportunities as far as dedicated freight. I know there's some pop-up accounts as well. So go ahead and let's talk about it, Dave.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, great time to be a driver. You guys are needed across the country now more than ever. And we are missing freight every single day. We're not the only carrier out there doing it and going through the same problems, but we appreciate everything you guys do. So really what it is we've got pop-up opportunities. That's one of the things. And that is certain customers, specifically right now, Toro and Walmart, have come to us and said they need X amount of drivers. And right now I can tell you we have just over 30 drivers running in between Walmart and Toro on daily activity for them. It's a daily rate to the driver, means consistent pay on a regular basis, okay? So you don't have to worry what's the mileage you're gonna get planned on today. You know you're getting a steady pay that day and for that week.
And I
right?
can speak to the Walmart one because I did Walmart for about 9 months, the Walmart pop-up.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, some of the best money I ever made at Dart was on the Walmart pop-up. I was really sad when that one went away. But for 9 months, I mean, I was really taking it home as a contractor. I did really well.
Yeah, so I'm glad you said that too, because this is for both company drivers and for contractors. Yep. So it doesn't, you don't have to be a certain type, but we still have 20 openings. So we have, like I said, 30 plus right now, but we have 20 more openings, and that's going to be in the Midwest area for both Toro and for Walmart. So that's a great opportunity for any driver wanting that consistent pay.
Yeah, and it's usually, I think I was running 9 to 10 hours a day. You're delivering to stores, so you're not driving 9 hours straight. I can remember a 9-hour day where I only drove 100 miles.
Yep. Yeah, our average length of haul is about 350 total miles with those. Average day, I apologize. And so really, we ask that you produce a full clock, utilize your full clock. But at the end of the day, that's why we have that set pay for the lane, is because we don't know how many miles you're going to get dispatched on. And we want to make sure you get a fair rate for the day.
Absolutely.
And like Pat said, you're not going to run as much fuel.
Well, and that was the big kicker for me is, the route I came off of, I was buying fuel every day. I went to Walmart. For 9 months, I was buying fuel every third day, maybe 4 days. I cut my fuel bill in half. I mean, and that's really where I made the difference up.
Yep.
So it's a great time. I mean, I know we're overbooked every day.
Yep.
As far as freight goes, we have more freight than we have trucks. And I don't remember Dart going through this. Well, you've been here longer than I have. I don't remember having this before.
Yeah,
and to this extent, I should say.
You're right. 2018 was a great year for all trucking companies. Okay, but this year is unique in its own way. I don't know how it'll end up writing itself down in history, but it's definitely a different time. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're out there and you're running a route right now, maybe you're on a dedicated account, you just want to make a change. Reach out to. I would assume they start with their fleet manager.
Yep. Start with their fleet manager, and they can get you in touch with the right people for sure. So then the other items that we have too to talk about. I mean, that's just pop up.
Right.
We've got dedicated opportunities. One of our biggest customers in dedicated is Georgia Pacific, right? So within Georgia Pacific, you run the same exact OTR type of model and network that our network drivers run. But in this model, you actually have a fleet planner. So that fleet planner does the planning and does your fleet managing. And so you have an actual person that's following you around the country and planning you every step of the way. And then on top of planning you, they are actually working to pull freight from the Georgia Pacific board. So they actually will go to the Georgia Pacific Freight Board, grab a load specifically catered to you, and give you that load. Okay, so they're looking at your hours, they're looking at your miles, they're looking at your home time and your needs, and they are taking care of you, the driver. That's the whole point of it. So you can get paid the same as the over-the-road network fleet, but just get the opportunity for potentially more miles.
And the advantage of having a fleet planner is they're going to keep you moving. I mean, they know where you're going to be. They know, okay, when he gets there, he's going to have 60 hours left.
Yep.
Okay, boom, let's get him on this one. This one takes me. Georgia Pacific is another route. I was on Georgia Pacific for almost 2 years.
Pat, is there anything you didn't do here, Dart?
Well, let's see. Yeah, I've run a little bit of everything. When I was first at DART, I ran the city board. Then I came back and we did Georgia Pacific. I love Georgia Pacific, but then a Target dedicated opened up, so I jumped over to that. And then in between there, they're like, hey, we need some help on Walmart. So I went into Walmart pop-up. And I actually made better money on the Walmart pop-up than I did on the other dedicated stuff. It was a good time, but times are different. Here I am in the office.
Yeah.
So now if you're a driver out there who's thinking about making a switch and coming to a DART, it's a prime opportunity for you to come in right now because, again, we have more freight every day than we have trucks available. So, I mean, you can be as busy as you want to be right now. As long as, keep your ready time set right, communicate with your fleet manager, they're going to keep you as busy as you want to be at this point right now.
That's exactly right. And on top of that, not only do we have more freight right now, if we get more drivers, we have more freight that we can go to the well with. We have customers coming to us with more opportunities on a regular basis.
Well, and that's the other side of that. I mean, if we had more drivers, we'd still be overbooked. We'd just have more freight available because they want us to take more. And we're taking as physically as much as we can take right now.
That's exactly right.
So
another one of the opportunities that we have within our dedicated realm is really we have multiple customers in this lane, but it's our Minnesota to Chicago power lane is what we call it. We have built over time in our network what we call power lanes. And those are lanes that get drivers, to and from a certain area.
Yep.
Most of them use multiple customers to do that, but you'll generally see the same customers over time. And one of the big needs that we have right now is in that Minnesota Chicago network. So we actually have Anderson Windows that does more of a regionalized get home weekly fleet for us from Minnesota to Chicago. We have DRT, which is also a same exact lane competing against itself in the Minnesota to Chicago realm. That one's more in and out of the rail, so a little different experience for the driver. And then we also have our network freight that we just have our power lane because we have multiple customers besides Anderson and DRT that go back and forth between Minnesota and Chicago. So if you live in that wheelhouse, it's a perfect opportunity to get through the house on a regular basis. And
yes, that's the thing. On the Minnesota to Chicago, if you live on either end, you could be home every other day.
Or if you live in between. You can be home for a 10-hour break.
Almost every day, take a 10-hour break, take your 34s there. So these power lanes are great for somebody who lives in that area. Or somebody who just likes running back and forth and knowing what they're doing.
I have a couple of Texas-based drivers that actually have moved up here to just work up here in Minnesota to Chicago because they want the consistency.
Well, and that's the key to it right there is the consistency. I mean, as a driver myself, I always wanted consistency. I knew I wanted to run 600 miles a day if I could. That's just what I wanted. And on some of the dedicated accounts I had, I was able to do that. So it worked good for me. So any other opportunities, Dave? Or?
Well, the other power lanes that we have, and I just like to make sure I mention them because we're always trying to build on these, right? So it doesn't mean they're necessarily open today.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that we're not trying to grow more in that lane. Or we're not trying to find more, really, because what it is just finding the network freight that works. It has enough from one spot to point A to point B and then back to point A again. So that's Texas to Kansas City is one that a lot of drivers like. Texas to Louisiana. We've got Ohio to Pennsylvania to North Carolina, so a little more of a triangle on that one, but again, a similar type of idea. We have a longer length of hauls. We've got a Ohio to Texas and back. And then we've got, that one's a real good one for drivers that live in between.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you live in the Memphis market
Yep.
too, you can kind of go 500 miles, take your 10, 500 miles, and back. And then we've got you're used to the UDC lanes, so we got Illinois to Kansas City, and then Illinois to
Tyler.
Texas.
Tyler,
Yeah.
Texas, yeah.
So a lot of we try to continue to build on those, and you never know when one of those spots are going to open up, so it doesn't hurt to at least take
Yes,
the fleet manager.
yeah, let your fleet manager know you're interested in. I know I used to run a triangle, basically. It was from St. Cloud, Minnesota to Texas, from Texas to Colorado, Colorado back to Minnesota. I lived in between. I was home 2-3 times a week sometimes, and I took all my 34s at home. It was nice. I loved it. And then part of it, we lost one of the customers, and the customer just didn't have the freight for us, so we couldn't service them anymore. But at any rate, if you're looking for that opportunity out there, reach out to your fleet manager. They'll get you in touch with the right people. If you want to do it, if you're out there and you're thinking you want to come to DART, now's a great time. Get a hold of our recruiting department. The number will be right here at the bottom. Give them a call and we'll get you in here. Remember, current drivers out there, refer your friends. There is a referral bonus still. Refer your friends in here. If you get them in here, talking to a driver at a truck stop, refer them over. If they're looking for a good opportunity with plenty of freight, bring them in, get that referral bonus for just giving them your name and driver number. That's all you got to do. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Dave, for being here today. I'm hoping we can do this again. It's always fun. We've done some safety videos in the past, so it's always fun to get together. So remember, everybody out there, don't be so busy building a life for yourself, you actually forget to have that life. Catch you next week.